Welcome to Safari Louie, the channel that brings the Columbus Zoo right to you. And this is your first video, then hit those like and subscribe buttons, along with that bell icon, to officially join the Columbus crew. And now for the 6th time in a row within the past 2 weeks, well, once again, this is another short. Until I get further notice about the missing birds in the North America aviary, which, again, I still apologize for that. Anyway, for this short, well, I was not really expecting to do this one until I found something interesting. For the past 2 weeks, well, we covered a lot of things here at the zoo, including, well, the brand new indoor orangutan habitat, updates in the roadhouse, updates in Stingray Bay, the reopening of the touch pool, and, well, the last short, updates in the reptile amphibian house, which there was a lot. And now, again, for the 3rd time on the channel, welcome back to Asia Quest, my favorite region here at the zoo. Like I mentioned about the reptile amphibian house, well, yeah, the last time we were back here was about 3 months ago. And like the last short in Asia Quest, well, we're kind of doing something like we did last time. A couple touch-ups on some of the residents, as well as a few new arrivals in the region. A look at one of the world's rarest hoofed mammals, which is, well, found in Siberia, 2 of the zoo's babies, one that was born recently, and one back in June, which I'm giving them updates. I know we were here a lot of times and seeing the main episode in short. I highly recommend you watch those. Like, a lot. Anyway, we're going to go through the jungles of Southeast Asia, the grasslands and also rainforests of India and Nepal, the Russian Far East in the taiga and also meadows, and surprisingly, this African savanna, which, well, that part is something for very, very special and quite interesting. So, without further ado, let's do this. As you go around the lake and go through the inspiring Tiger Stone entrance, well, we're pretty much now in my favorite region. Normally, usually like we did on the last tour, we usually start on the left side of the bridge. But this time, well, for this short, well, we're going to be looking at the right. Which, well, like the main episode, this was the summer home for the zoo's giant Malaysian pond turtles. Well, this is the main home for the Siberian Musk Deer. This, believe it or not, is actually one of the zoo's rarest animals. Like, very, very rare to find in captivity. As far as I know, the Akron Zoo, which is about almost 100 miles north, also had the Musk Deer until, well, I don't know what happened to them. Like its name suggests, it lives in the Russian Far East, mainly in Siberia. Anyway, musk is a liquid that's secreted by males to attract a future mate. But anyway, what you're looking at, this is not a male. This is our female named Lady. And yes, that's her name. Like the animals here at the zoo, Lady is very shy. But catching her out in the open like this, well, this is very worth seeing. Like, a lot. She usually is active in the cold winters. In other days, she's usually hanging out near the wall, near the bridge. Not only is the musk attracted for females, but the musk is attracted to us. Because, well, these are the most expensive animal products around. People use it to try to treat strokes, seizures, and nerve damage. It's also used as flavoring in food and even perfume and cologne. Due to high demand that produces musk, the deer is expected to lose 30% of its current population over the next 2 decades. Which is why I highly recommend you see the musk deer the next time here at the Columbus Zoo's Asia Quest. But sadly, we had to move on. As we're leaving the musk deer yard, well, continuing over the bridge, we're making our way to the Interpreter Center. And, well, if you remember from the last Asia Quest short, this spot is currently home to our red panda female, Madeline. Well, she is still in here at the time, but maybe not for long because the langurs may come back out pretty soon. Anyway, we're kind of moving on. Now, we're going to go inside into the Interpreter Center. My favorite indoor building here at the zoo. Obviously for good reasons. As we pass all the tiger statues, the ones that are still living and those extinct, well, instead of going straight, we're going to turn to our right which I used to go this way a lot when I was younger. Really, I was. I don't know if you guys remember these exhibits. For those of you who don't, I highly recommend you watch the main episode. For those who did, well, obviously you recognize the right habitat, filled with a lot of trees and, well, obviously elevated. And the second exhibit, same thing, a lot of trees and a lot of primates. What the primates are? Well, say hello again to the silver leaf langurs. Anyway, the last time we were here, well, we were kind of talking about one of the zoo's newest residents. And that will be, well, obviously, Raya, which she's right here, almost completely gray, even though she's almost 5 months old, or over 5 months old. But, well, we're not here just to talk about her. We're talking about this little guy or gal. There is no current Facebook or Instagram post for me to take a look at what the gender it is, or it has a name. But anyway, this little Langur was born a couple weeks after the last Asia Quest short, and it is currently the youngest member of the family. My predictions is that, well, this little guy or gal is probably around 1.5 to 2 months old, or maybe even 3 months old, because if you look closely, there's a little bit of the gray that's starting to appear. And as you can see right now, the allo mothering behavior is still continuing here in the troop, which is a behavior that encourages all females in the same troop to help raise the youngster, which is what's happening right here. Even though the zoo has some amount of monkey species here, I'm still glad that the langurs here can be seen year-round, because, well, obviously when we see moments like this, not just behavior, but also babies as like this. Plus, I mean, you can't ignore that beautiful orange fur. Like, it's hard not to look away from it, like, obviously. And one day, like Raya's situation right now, this little guy or gal will turn almost completely gray. Why? These guys are called silver leaf langurs. And now, we must move on. And for good reason. We're about to see, once again, one of the zoo's most popular stars. Because right now, we're heading to Asia Quest's sub-attraction, the Vanishing Giants. This is usually the indoor viewing and obviously year-round viewing for, well, some of the zoo's largest animals. Anyway, this is America's largest pachyderm building. One for the pachyderms that we're about to see, and on the far right is home to Brian, our greater one-horned Indian rhino. At 5 years old and over 4,000 pounds, he's doing great. This clumsy boy amazes everyone, including me and my co-worker Garrett. But anyway, for the short, we're talking about the elephants. Currently, the zoo is home to 7 Indian elephants, 2 fully grown males, 4 fully grown females, and the most popular one right now, baby Frankie. After the main episode of Asia Quest, Frankie has been doing well. Now I'm very glad he made it through his first ever winter. Which I was kind of worried because the last elephant calf that we had, well, unfortunately passed away during the winter. But like I said, Frankie here has been doing very well, and even playing with his toys, as you can see. Since the main episode, Frankie, well, at that time, he was 4 months old and 500 pounds. Right now, at almost 10 months old, he weighs currently 980 pounds, reaching almost 1,000 pounds. But, as I said, Frankie is thriving, along with the other elephants here, including his mother, 34-year-old Phoebe, and his aunts, the Reeling brothers, Sonny and Rudy, who came here in 2016. And, well, they all hang out together, well, during the day shift, that is. As of right now, Frankie is almost being on view almost every day, usually between 10 to 3 p.m. on weekdays and also on weekends. Whether it'll be inside or outside, but it'll most likely be outside because, well, surprisingly, all the elephants here like the cold weather. Mainly because these guys are usually from India and Nepal, and they love the cold weather. But, as you can see, Frankie does not mind at all, eating his overgrown salad. Hate to do it, but we had to move on. Now we're heading to the boardwalk, next to where Natasha, our female Amore Tiger, is in the main tiger exhibit. Which right now, she's doing well. The last time we were here, which again was the short, The smaller yard that we're approaching right now used to be home to our red-crowned cranes, which, well, had to be taken off display due to the avian flu, and maybe going back with the tufted deer. But now the smaller exhibit is now taken over again by Mara, our oldest female Amore Tiger. Mara here is roughly around 15 to 16 years old, making her the oldest Amore Tiger that we had here at the zoo. Despite her age, around 15 to 16 years old, Mara here is doing extremely well, walking around her enclosure like she normally does, and still eating, well, her meals that the keepers left for her. She's been here at the zoo since 2011, so this makes this year her 11th year here at the Columbus Zoo. Now, for some of you who may be wondering, what's Mara doing here in the boardwalk and Natasha and Jupiter taking the main exhibit? With Mara's age, around 15 to 16, well, she's past her prime, which means, well, she is no longer able to breed. So, until further notice, the boardwalk portion will be, well, the tiger's retirement home, which she has been a big success for breeding. In the past decade, she had a total of 9 cubs. That's right, with her whole life here, she had 9 cubs out of the 13 tiger cubs we had here total. It may be possible, well, on one day, depending what Mara's situation is, well, the boardwalk portion may be a future home for Asian leopards, possibly snow and Amur leopards. If that's not going to happen, well, I'm still happy that there'll be a retirement home for the zoo's Amore Tiger breeding program. Which, well, even though Mara has been living here in the boardwalk for pretty much for the past 3 to 4 years, she's doing pretty well. But anyway, as much as I can talk to her, well, we should probably move on, because there's something you might want to see. You thought that may be it, but no, she's not the last thing we're going to be talking about. Anyway, we're going to turn to our right to the Tiger Conservation Shade Structure, which, well, talks about conservation about tigers. This also gives 2 final viewing areas, one for the smaller one where Mara is at right now, and, well, the other one, which is the larger one, where Mara was previously at. Well, with the cranes gone, well, you might be surprised what took over this spot, and, well, you're about to see in a moment. The boardwalk was usually home for the zoo's big cats, because, well, this is not just home for tigers, this was also home for lions until Heart of Africa opened, and even some mountain lions that were there for temporarily. But today, you might be shocked. Now it is home to cheetahs. Yes, I'm serious. There are 2 cheetahs in the larger exhibit. If I'm not mistaken, well, because I don't know these 2, these are probably 2 males. In the wild, male cheetahs usually form a group called a coalition, which usually contains between 2 to 5 males, or even more, that are usually brothers from the same litter. This wasn't the first time cheetahs were placed here in the boardwalk area. Like the mountain lions, tigers, and African lions, the cheetahs were also placed here for temporarily. The last time this happened was back all the way in 2009, which that was actually the first time I ever seen a cheetah. Understandably, I know these 2 will be here temporarily because, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if these are 2 new cheetahs that we received from a new place, like the Wilds, which is the zoo's other facility. Because, well, they had a litter of 6 cubs not too long ago, and these 2 could be from the same litter. If that's the case, they may join or rejoin the 10 plus cheetahs we have here at the Columbus Zoo. And that was all the new updated things here in Asia Quest. Not only my favorite region here at the zoo, but my favorite zoo related region of all time. And honestly, let me know how you think of the cheetahs being in the Asia Quest area. Because, well, I know this is supposed to be an Asian area. So let me know how you think about it. Otherwise, I highly recommend you do see the Columbus Zoo's Asia Quest. Because, well, it is one of America's most inspiring areas. And also one of the country's must-see attractions. So I highly recommend you stop by. As I always say in every video, hit that like and subscribe button along with that bell icon to see updates to Columbus Zoo and your Safari channel. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this short of Asia Quest.